So let's get out of jail. After leveling up, of course. Vigor regeneration during combat? Yes, please, because then we can get more vigor. And I enjoy having a lot of vigor. Vigorous person myself in the real world. Kinda. Maybe. Sort of. So. Let's see. Cat potions, moon rune. Some leather jacket, gloves, and a blackjack. So. Do less damage while having the cat in our system. That's a weird change, but okay. Damage bonus and science. Maybe kind of useful. With 5 money to our name. And some trousers. The game is slowly going to open up to us now. Even though we're of course still in a dungeon somewhere. Because again, when we zoom out on the map and try to move it, say over here in Eden, and then zoom in, we go, yo, this is where you are. Even though we're not actually there, we are somewhere around, somewhere in some area at least. We have full test is dead, killed by that big guy we saw in.
I can't sneak out in this light.
Killed by the big guy we saw in the intro cutscene, where he killed another king. Oh. The game's many kind of weird stealth sections. Say it has a lot of them, but it has at least 2. This one and one more at the very least. Can't really remember how many it has. Yeah, I might also have been going a bit hard on full test during the tutorial. Prologue. But mainly just because
drop your weapon!
The game itself doesn't actually mention any of it. Maybe it's assuming that we know. They have full test. Maybe it's a matter of the game wanting you to sympathize with this king guy and maybe the new players, and then they want to find the Kingslayer because they want to avenge the likable king character.
Snouts! Fish down the straightaway! You deaf or what? I said a prisoner's escaped! Guards! Where the hell is everyone? Guards, over here! What was that? To me! Pile on him!
In the first game, make sure that before you even met full test, a quick rundown on all the horrible stuff you've been doing. If you're completely new to this area, well, not the characters, you still have by means of Asar Javed. Quick explanation that full test is not an entirely good guy. Still a kinda likable king and character with many good lines that are entertaining and also decently written. Can't blame the writing team, but it also feels like they just glossed over a bunch of stuff.
Come on, mate, please let me help. I beg you. If you don't, draw half the garrison here.
There's Arian Lava.
Stay calm, Arian.
What are you doing here?
Same thing as you.
Yes, but they imprisoned you. Why?
They say I killed Foltest.
Shame. I'd hoped to do that myself. Do you know my mother's fate? Foltest did her no harm.
Sorry to know, she's fine, full of protection.
News you can trust is hard to come by in wartime. I've heard nothing about her.
Fortunately, I know how to restore my family's honor.
Time to think about saving your life.
To me, honor is more important than life.
What do you plan to do?
Not your concern. We must get to the oil store where there's a way out. I'm weak. You must help me. I'll wait here. Return for me once you've cleared the way.
Does the journal tell us anything? Well, it gives us a long read about getting out. Oh, it's just expanding on the dungeons of Lavalan. And in the slammer, at least 3, including one to my esteemed company. Always been able to get out, either with the help of friends or by turns of good fortune. This time, however, things looked bleak. Almost everyone thought the witch had murdered the king. Luckily, Vernon Roach had his doubts. Roach completed his grueling interrogation of Geralt and left the witch to the guards, but not before leaving our hero the key to his manacles and adding that he would await aboard his ship. All Geralt had to do was to escape from the dungeons on his own. A trifle. Prison guards are the same as the world over. Dumb and short-tempered, Geralt succeeded in provoking his caretakers as easily as a cook fries an omelette. Life can be surprising, especially when you're trying to evade death. Sneaking through the dungeon, Geralt chanced upon Arian Larvalet. The erstwhile foes, brought together once more by fate, became allies. Arian knew the castle like the back of his hand, but the Witcher had a sword. Technically, we won't have a blackjack, so he went forth to clear the way. Turning memories. Interrogation in the dungeon of Lavalet Castle took its toll on Geralt. The Witcher's body, despite its mutations, was beat up, bruised and scarred. At one point, Geralt experienced a shock so extreme that it elicited an old memory. All of a sudden, the Witcher recalled the moment of his death. Once more he relived his demise in Rivia. Once more he lay on the ground, pierced by a peasant's pitchfork. Once more he bled to death. When another vision came to him a few days later, Geralt knew he was gradually recovering his memory. This is important for Geralt. This here is our main quest, by all means. Foltest was not so lucky the second time. Having dropped his guard, the Witcher was caught by surprise and the king died at the hands of an assassin. The murderer was also mutant, similar in garb and behaviour to the previous assassin. Furthermore, he seemed to recognise Geralt. Sadly, the Kingslayer escaped, and our hero was blamed for the monarch's death. And let's just remove the exclamation marks there. Yes, Foltest was killed by a Witcher. Meaning that the titular assassins of kings most likely all are witches. But why would witches kill kings? That's a big question. And also, why would Nilfgaard be around Foltest when he's waging civil war? These are all great questions, and let's see. When it comes to Geralt and his motivations, it's like we were sassy to Vernon Roach. Our main concern is not really avenging Foltest, because, I mean, sure, it's awful when someone dies. I'm not going to argue against that, because I'm not a psychopath. But at the same time, it wasn't our war, wasn't our king, and, by all means, not our business. Of course, getting framed for murder is kinda our business anyway.
Shrew shit!
Luckily, this blackjack has a stun effect, meaning we can stun people. Oh, I'm getting some free and skills. Holy boy. That's a lot of guys. God, around one is not saved. We're gonna do what we've done a lot of before. Do some kiting as we regenerate energy. Sure as all just wish we could dodge rolls slightly competently. The question is, where are we now? Good thing we're already back down by him. Let's see. Before anyone could say we've 2 vacant cells and several openings for a new jailer, Girl dealt with the guards and turned back to find Harry and Lavalette. Oh, the oil stores. Probably not gonna go there just to get some oil for a lantern. Picking up some spare change, that's always good. There's still sections like these who are kind of popular and...
Up the stairs. This way.
In the 2011 games. Or mainly just weird side segments or, you know, spicing it all up with gameplay mechanics, not really fit for the engine
Second
or
door on the left. That's the oil store.
the engine or the game itself. But it is always good to have some variety in the story, and therefore this prison break here, it would not have been possible in the first game. Didn't have the technology, as silly as that might sound. Well, let's put him down again some more, and continue picking up everything that fell on the ground when we committed murder. By all means, these guards are not bad guys, not necessarily good guys either, they're just guys, and yeah, you know, doing their job. But we've been released from prison by someone outranking them, therefore what we're doing is by all means morally right. At least in the world of espionage.
Come with me. There's nothing you can do here.
I've more to do now than ever before.
Alone.
I need no one's aid for what I aim to accomplish.
Is that your final word?
Farewell, Witcher.
Go to the fortress. See. Well, the young Baron knew of a secret passage, so the fugitives headed off in its direction. The Witcher escaped from the fortress, but Arion chose to remain behind. Pride would not allow him to leave his family's seat in enemy hands. The ensuing fire was the talk of the surrounding villages for years, and to this day the phrase, "right as a night the castle burned down," remains in the local vernacular. Again, checking into the journal and so on, before, oh, okay, he's setting fire to it right now, we didn't actually spoil any surprise. And we can't go back, a good old trick from video game development. Check this sword. It deals more damage, but does not have any stun. Let's equip it anyway. It's floating by the hip, meaning it's not a proper Witcher sword.
Halt! Blimey, is that you, Witcher? They say you killed the king.
Well, I didn't. And I'm going to prove it.
I'm inclined to believe you.
Glad to hear that. It'd be pretty stupid if I had to kill you now. Did all the Reavers survive the assault?
Aye, they've been drinking themselves silly for 2 days now. I believe I owe you something.
You don't owe me a thing.
We wound up in a boiling cauldron during the assault. You know how it is when knights get caught in a tight passage. Nowhere to go. Those in the back push forward. Those in the front are stuck, and halberd blows raining down from above. I'd have been crushed if not for my armor, and about 10 blows landed on my helmet. My ears still ring, and I puke time and again. But I live and breathe.
Concussion. It'll pass.
This track is good. The soundtrack has its moments, and it is still very good. It's not as good as the first games. It has some bombastic tracks like during the initial prologue that I'm not all that fond of. But
Were you on patrol with the Reavers when they ran into those Scoia'tael?
Aye.
Kenneth mentioned the unit was especially vicious. Notice anything out of the ordinary? A unit emblem or something?
Right you up. They had masks made of the cloth of Special Forces uniforms, and they hollered a lot, Yorveth or some such.
Where did the dragon come from?
I've no idea, but it saved our asses. The elves ceased shooting at the sight of it. Can't tell you anymore, as we fled right then as if the devil himself was on our tail. Take this. Kenneth told me to study up, but I've not the mind for it. Just not cut out to be a dragon hunter, I guess. It could be useful to you, though.
I need to go.
There are sentries on the dike. No way you'll slip through.
Can you distract them?
I'll try. But remember, count me out if there's a fight. In fact, we could end up foes.
I hope not. Go.
Just give me a minute.
sneak aboard the riverboat. About dragons. My knowledge about a monster species. Dragons were once commonplace, their rule over the continent absolute. Dragonfire was the bane of cities, and dragon appetites were a constant threat to the first colonizers. Mages stood against these creatures, witches were created to fight them. Today, dragons are nearly extinct. There are occasional sightings of forktails and slizzards, but these creatures are to dragons as stray cats are to tigers. Dragons were brought to the brink of extinction by professional hunters like the famed Crinfrid Reavers. Alchemy ingredients from the dragon's body are among the most expensive and highly sought after by mages. The beast's roasted tail is considered a true delicacy. With that, we should, in our journal, have a dragon. And just gives us the info there. So there's no in-depth information about it. They are weak to this and that and that, which I find to be a minus, because I like that in the first game.
The Kingslayer's escaped. We need to cut him off. Follow me.
All right, let's go.
That's Trace Marigold standing right over there. Let's see. Stuff to loot. Like the magpie that I am, we need it. We're gonna be brewing potions.
Geralt, over here.
We shouldn't head off in that direction because that's where good old friendly new boy is and other innocent people. We cannot save it this time. They've improved her running animation from the first game. That I'll give them. Warrants and a bunch of other good stuff.
Bloody hell, you didn't have to torch the castle. You were to sneak out, avoid anything resembling a bloodbath.
You left me the key to my manacles, not an invisibility cloak. Triss, is everything all right?
Not exactly. I'm no longer the royal advisor. I've lost my post, my home in Vizima. Witcher's mistress, they call me. Kingslayer's whore.
Triss, you put yourself out there.
An interregnum is chaos by definition. Rats like Baron Kimbold and Count Maravel rule Temeria now, or strive to. But no one save old Natalis can restore true order.
Natalis is far away and of low birth. The crown's simply out of his reach. Baron Kimbold, on the other hand.
Politics is secondary right now. Vernon, learn anything new about the Kingslayer?
A week ago I got a message from an informer in Flotsam. He saw Yorveth in the company of a large, bald man, not unlike the one you described.
A week ago? Sounds like a cold trail to me.
We need to start somewhere. The trading post is a few days upriver, in the forests that lie on the Aedirnian border. Yorveth's territory.
Flotsam it is then. Triss,
Yes?
I'm a bit beat up. Will you look at my wounds? Let's go below deck. And I need you to tell me about Yennefer in detail. I want to hear it all, even the things you don't want to tell me, even the things that might hurt.
Prepare to cast off! Clear the lines and all aboard!
Line's clear, Captain!
So off we go with the Navy SEALs. Or the Spetsnaz.
Honor's a curious thing. Honor made Arion fight a mismatched battle against the might of Temeria. Facing defeat, Honor told Arion to bow his neck to save his men. But that same honor prevented him from saving himself.
Life can't be easy for anyone who's unlucky enough to be labeled a regicide. That goes triple for someone like Geralt. Could his luck get any worse? I've known the Witcher for a long time, and I'm sure that kings, courts, and politics concern him about as much as last year's snow. But hey, life doesn't always dole out what we expect, right? Sometimes it even forces us to associate with unsavory characters like Vernon Roach. No, I'm not making any excuses, and yes, I had my reasons. The Witcher spent most of the way to Flotsam talking to someone. Long into the evening, as water lapped against the boat's side, Triss told him forgotten stories of his unexpected child and his toxic relationship with a sorceress named Yennefer. Stories of a life stolen from him. Am I boring you? Don't set this tale aside. Give me just a few minutes more, for someone special's about to appear in dire straits upon a scaffold.
This was also added in the enhanced edition. That neat little cutscene. 4 months earlier, Temerian-Adernian border. Even our trusty narrator before, who I will reveal is Dandelion, so he can't reveal himself. Called Vernon Roach an unsavory character. So he's not a good man. At least not by Dandelion's definition.
Sheathe your sword, Elf. I'm here to talk. Bow low. You stand before a head crowned. That of Demavend, King of Aedirn, by the grace of the gods, sovereign of the Pontar Valley, and so on.
And you are?
a friend to non-humans. I have an offer.
Speak quickly and to the point. The Arrakis will soon return, and I'd rather know all before then.
I can add several more heads to this one. Each crowned.
Go on.
Full test to start with. I barely escaped in Aedirn. I'll need help. Access to your hideouts and maps of your secret trails. And the support of the Scoia'tael. I want no gold and have no interest in the killer's fame.
Then why do you wish them dead?
It's a long story. Your beast nabbed his neck. Time to go. Do we have a deal, Elf?
It seems the Kingslayer, the big guy, is siding with the Squirtle. Chapter 1, present day. All is the same place. Of course, this is knowledge we do not have. Well, Geralt does not have, we know it. You can safely assume that the eye-patched guy, or elf, is Yorvath. Who was mentioned in the books, and he's a terrorist.
Flotsam should be just beyond the point. We'll take the beach.
Who's we?
You and me. Reconnaissance.
I'm coming too.
You should stay behind. We can't be sure of the reception we'll get.
Precisely why I won't let you go alone. Someone's got to look after you.
That time of the month.
Christ. But no. Before we set sail, both Vernon Roach and Triss were... well, they are both all about politics. Triss especially. We go. Our bonus vigor. Just what we wanted. You still can't access the other trees. Let's see. Redirect arrows? Maybe. One more health. Or damage reduction while parrying. Increased to 100%. That could be good. They are both concerned about the matters of state. We are not really. Or, well, I don't know. And these 10 whetstones are also part of some, bonus DLC items or whatever that everyone has access to thanks to the enhanced edition and so on. I decided to keep them in the game as well as all the oils. Because at the end of the first game, we still had plenty of whetstones. And diamond dust and other things, so we can just assume that Geralt kept those and they all just fused together gameplay mechanics-wise as these whetstones. And the oils. We had 4 Hangman's Venom and 4 Necrophage Oil, or maybe one had 3 after using that, one of them in the Frozen Wastes. For all things considered, this is alright. Could also have grabbed sister mod to the mod I picked with the potion durations that also extends the duration of oils, but I decided not to because you can apply oils whenever the hell you want. See, we can't throw these swords. We have bunches of... The reason why we still have our silver sword is because I did not throw away the standard sword, silver sword, during the prologue, so it could whisked out of the inventory as it's supposed to when Geralt stabs the dragon. Had we not made sure to remove... had I made sure to remove it, Arendite would have disappeared from my inventory and we would have no silver sword at this moment. Which the story kind of assumes we don't have. But we do, so it's... well, it's a minor thing. It's not really that important. Let's see. A bomb with some stun. Let's just put that in our pocket for fun. And... let's get to it. Quilted leather.
Water's cold as hell. Come on, Witcher!
Just a moment, we'll need to look at our stuff. It's worse. But yeah, let's get going.